Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I got Jimmy's cup and hopefully it's hot because it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It's actually 12:30. Gonna take a sip, let's see. It actually is still quite warm. That's 7 hours. I'll take it. Hi. I was gonna come on, not gonna come on today. I actually vlogged Sunday, sit and sip, and I had to split it in two because it ended up being so long. And honestly, I wasn't feeling good today. I wasn't feeling good last night. I'm not feeling well actually right now, but I wanted to come on and not complain. You know, it's kind of like, do I even post this? Was a video title, because I think I mentioned it before. Talking to you, talking on the phone, talking to family, friends, distracts me from the pain. And I had a terrible night. And I'll tell you something that I think I realized, which might have contributed to last week's failure at the MRI too, which I didn't realize. But Sunday is like, change the sheets, which you can't even tell we did. Well, yeah, you can tell like that. Sunday is change the sheets, sponge bath, clean the room sort of situation, clean up, like disinfect my area and straighten out my table because I got to restock it for the week. And plus I did all my regular stretching and stuff, and that's probably what I have to not do next week. I might have just overdone it because after making the bed was the last thing, because I get like sponge bath. I sponge bathe myself on the commode, and when I get up, I stand up so Jimmy could make my side of the bed, and then I basically stand up supporting myself on the wall because I need to be skinny so he can get by. And then after he's done with the corner, then I support myself on the commode, which, does help because then I don't have to put any pressure on my right leg. I don't really put much pressure on my right leg when I lean against the wall. I try to support myself there. But, it's inevitable. There really isn't any place else for me to go that's going to be less time consuming or less pressure on there. Because even if I got my walker and got out of the way, it's a lot to walk extra or whatever. So I think that what I've come to realize is that, well, hopefully I'll have answers by next Monday, or next Sunday, but I probably won't because the MRI is not until Friday afternoon. But what I come to realize is that I've got to remember the task. So I guess to synapsis, the spoon theory we talk about a lot, or I tell you my 1,000 steps of energy or whatever, or 10,000 is what it is actually. But I have to reserve them for the nighttime because just like last week, I had a lot of difficulty resting. My leg was, I laid down we laid down right away, but I took my meds at 7. I tried to let the pain medication take effect. I waited an hour and a half. I finally felt like I got comfortable enough to or tired enough to just pass out. But I woke up in I don't know, it was 11:30, so maybe in an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I was like, oh, it's only 11:30. That was weird. And then I laid back down. So by pain medication, I tell you that at nighttime I take my gabapentin and my Aleve at the same time. I take them both at 7 so that I can rest. I've adjusted my schedule that way. So I fell back to sleep for about 45 minutes. I woke up at 12:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. It was just, I couldn't find a comfortable position. I was tossing and turning. I got to the point where I felt like I was disturbing Jim, because then he started to get restless. So I knew it was like I couldn't and I was in too much pain. So I went ahead and I took the Tylenol codeine. Now, there was some people concerned about my addiction to Tylenol codeine. I have no desire whatsoever to get... I'm the kind of person who I really don't get addicted to medication, because I don't need it. Like, I don't take it because it doesn't make me feel good. Let's put it that way. It makes me have no pain, but it doesn't make me, like, euphoric or excited. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't relax me. It doesn't do anything, like, positive to my spirit. So it's like, I don't see how I could possibly, but I guess you could. So I'm being very careful not to. I'm just using it exactly as needed. Like, that's what she told me, whenever you can't sleep because of the pain. So I ended up taking it at 1 o'clock, and I don't know if I was just in so much pain, or if I, like, truly exacerbated the injury or something. I laid in bed and tossed and turned till about 4:44. That's when I realized. I looked at the clock and I was like, close your eyes. 4:44 is, to me, is a very specific, like, you don't have to believe in this stuff, but I feel like there are angels in the world, and there are angel numbers that are very powerful messages that they send you. And 4:44 was a message that I always got after somebody died. I would wake up at 4:44 in the morning, or I would just happen to look at my clock at 4:44 in the evening. So when I looked at the clock and it was 4:44, I was like, this is them telling you, close your eyes and go to sleep. Like, put on Harry Potter. Don't just sit here and toss and turn. Don't play solitaire. Don't do any of these things that normally work. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. And I did. But of course, the alarm goes off at 5 o'clock to take my medicine. But that was okay, because it was 5 o'clock for Jimmy to get up, and then I could reposition more comfortably without disturbing him. Now, it's not comfortable. I wanted to tell you, it was not comfortable. This is the position that I'm in when Jim's gone. I could see I'm, like, almost parallel to the headboard, and I have my head in his space, kind of where he would rest his back, and I have my butt, my rear end, kind of in where I would rest my shoulders, and my legs are stretched that way. I just realized you couldn't see my hand. My legs are stretched like, I don't know, I'm at like a 45-degree angle, or really it would probably not be 45, it would be the other way. It would be 90 plus 40, 135-degree angle. So I got into this position this morning, and it wasn't comfortable either. Then he put on the Voltaren cream for me, which was very helpful in the morning, because, again, I'm being in so much pain, it's hard to stretch. I do my midday doses when I need them, but he does, like, right before bed and in the first thing in the morning. He's so sweet to do that for me, especially in the morning. I know it only takes 3 minutes, because it's not like a huge, like, he's not, giving me a suppository and waiting for the results or anything. It's just rubbing cream on, but I'm so... Excuse me, sorry, coffee burps, hiccups. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. But this morning I was so tired that he had, we usually do, a checklist before he leaves of, you have this, you have this, you have this. And this morning I just gave him the spectacle testicle while I don't watch things. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Austin Powers, right? The way he taught himself the sign of the cross, or maybe, I don't know, the way he said the sign of the cross was spectacle, because his glasses are here, testicles, which is down here. His wallet is on one side and his watch is on the other, but of course he did it backwards. But I do that for Jim because he wears glasses, he has his wallet, he has his watch, and obviously not his testicles, but it's usually his handkerchief or something. So normally this morning I was just so tired that I didn't run through the whole list with him. I just gave him that kind of joke thing. And he had to come back because he forgot his apron and his mask, because it's Monday and everything was washed. He didn't take it all out last night. He only took out his actual clothes. So I felt bad because I'm usually there to help him, but it's okay. I mean, he was fine coming back. He still had plenty of time to get to work. And he got there in plenty of time, he told me. So But then I slowly just passed out. I just fell back to sleep here for about, I want to say, I feel like I was awake when the 7 o'clock alarm went off, but barely. Like maybe I fell back to sleep till like 6:30, maybe. But then I laid here awake till like my alarm went off to take my morning meds. And since there's pain medication in the morning meds, you knew I was going up to do that because I'm still feeling more pain. Like today, my pain level is about a 7 or an 8. I mean, it's an 8, like right before medication time, or actually it's even more than that. It's probably like it's probably an 8 before medication time, and now it's like a 7 after. But like going to the bathroom exacerbates it. And then I feel like, so I just came back from toileting myself and it just hurts. Like, it just hurts the dickens. Like, I'm not in so much pain that I'm like not enjoying life and I'm not like, but I'm dealing with it. It's what it is. I want to be out of it. Don't get me wrong. It's not enjoyable whatsoever. It's not something I would wish on my worst enemy. I'm dealing with it, Anywho, I just ate breakfast. Like I said, it's 12:20. I just had a protein shake because the pain is what makes me nauseated. It's not just laying in the bed, it's the pain. But I knew that 12 o'clock is what woke me up at 12 o'clock was the alarm for my gabapentin 12 o'clock dose and my Voltaren 12 o'clock dose. And I know that I can't take all of that morning meds and stuff without taking any food. So by 12 o'clock, I've got to eat something by 12 o'clock. So I, just drank the protein shake this morning. I drank the coffee one. Cafe latte. So good. So good. It's better cold, but I like it even room temperature. Like, I love it. So I just finished that. I did bring beef jerky to the bed in case I was starting to feel hungry, and a protein bar in case I was starting to feel like hungry. So I said to the bed, but I brought them to this side of the bed. They usually sit on my nightstand, but I figured I'd bring them over in case I started to feel better or feel more comfortable or actually felt like. So can you guys sense the difference between nausea from being hungry and nausea from being like nauseous? I sometimes can't, but I sometimes can. Excuse me. I also brought over these glasses because the other ones fell on the floor under the commode and I can't get them. And I brought over a electrolytes. I haven't done electrolytes in about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks. A week before Jimmy started going to work, because I've been saving my Harry Potter cup, which I usually put the electrolytes in, for like water during the day, and then I realized, it's electrolytes, you need that. So that could be why, like, it could be a contributing factor to all kinds of things, but I am so very grateful for so much. Like, it may sound like I complain about my medical experience, but really I don't complain about it because at least I have it. And I knew that if I lived in someplace more rural, it would be more inconvenient. Like, yes, living on Long Island, there are doctors on every corner. Not really, but that's just the way we say it. There's a doctor on every corner. So your choices are plentiful, as opposed to here is like, you have a lot of choices, but they're all located in small areas, My previous doctor was one of the only primary care physicians that was not affiliated, like not in Mercy or in a clinic, like was not in a clinic. He was the only standalone, one of the only standalone doctors. I think there's only 2 standalone primaries out there, or at least I took my insurance. I take that back, but very few. And that's one of the things when I had to apply to go to him, and he turned out not being like, you know, very good follow-up. I guess he's the kind of doctor like where he is the asset and we have to like fight for him, so it's up to us to like constantly be on top of him as opposed to like them calling us and filling us in on stuff. So I don't know, it is what it is, but you know, it's different. It definitely takes some getting used to. And like, I did want to talk about one thing that was very I think I said it and it was a little misunderstood in the last MRI vlog. People were saying, just get the sedation, just get the sedation, just get the sedation. And I don't know if I talked about this yesterday, because honestly, I mean, yeah, yesterday, because yesterday was kind of a blur. And I haven't edited the second. Mom? Hello? What?
You good for lunch?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry, the misunderstanding about the MRI with sedation. Though I said to the lady that I didn't need sedation because I was good with the MRI, it was just the pain. And yes, you can get sedation for pain. I wanted to reiterate to you guys, because I don't know that if this slipped through the cracks, I'm not refusing sedation because I'm refusing sedation. I would have to go to the hospital, which is 100 miles away. And that's why I'm not getting the MRI with sedation. That's why I have to go here. That's why I had to lose that 30 pounds that, thank God, I lost because I couldn't eat. That's stupid enough to say, but you know, that just fell off me, those 30 pounds. But I had to get on to 350 so that I can get an MRI here. As a matter of fact, I need to get weighed back at the doctor's office, because when I went to schedule the MRI again, the lady was like, it's saying I have to send you to Springfield. And I was like, why? I said, no sedation. She goes, no, because it says here in the record that you're overweight. And I was like, oh, no, but I'm 332 now. I was like, I probably need to come in and get weighed again. So she said, oh, okay, so she fixed it. And I was like, yeah, it was fine. I said I went Monday and got an MRI there Monday, and it was all good. So that's why I can't get the sedation now anyway. Like, Jim has never driven to Springfield. He's never driven 100 miles away. He's only driven home from Columbia, and that is not on interstates. I think you're on an interstate for one exit in Columbia. Like, you're on the I-70. I don't even think you're actually on the I-70. I think you might be. He might be on the I-70 for one exit. I think he might be, but I can't remember. But you're never on like the interstate, because it's all like state highways, which he can handle. You know, state highways are easier for him. There's not so much traffic, and there's not so many big trucks and stuff. There are some, but not as many. You know, these are just ones that are going between cities, between local areas, not between cities. And he's never driven on the interstate that long. He practiced the other day, and he went to St. James so that he could build up his courage to do it. And even in New York, we had, I don't know if you've ever been on Long Island, they're all state highways that don't allow trucks. There's one state highway that does allow trucks. It's the 135, which is the Seaford Oyster Bay Expressway. But that is also like 4 or 5 lanes across. But the like Southern State Parkway, Northern State Parkway, Meadowbrook Parkway, Wantaw Parkway, all the parkways that were around us that he traveled the most, those were all state highways that didn't allow commercial vehicles. So he was never on the Long Island Expressway. I was barely on the Long Island Expressway. I was on there for like when we needed to go somewhere, but it was so far north and went so far east that like we lived on the South Shore, so it wasn't even ever feasible to get all the way up there just to go, you know. But when I worked at the group home, sometimes we took it, but very rarely. in the city, when you go to the city, you jump on the 495 to get to the Midtown Tunnel. That might be probably the most I ever did on the Long Island Expressway and get back to like the Grand Central. Anyway, okay. None of that's important to the story. So Jim hasn't had the opportunity to drive that far. Now, as far as time-wise is concerned, it is just about the same amount of time to get to Springfield on the interstate as it is to get from Columbia. So I know that he would, like, fall asleep. He might get sleepy because sometimes on the way home from Columbia, he was like, talk to me, I need more Mountain Dew. Like, if he was getting, like, you know, if the music was getting repetitive, his playlist wasn't long enough or whatever, then he would start to get, like, you know, sleepy a little bit. Like, I could feel himself getting that way. Never falling asleep, never falling asleep, never, like, dozing off or whatever, but, you know, that feeling you get before you're going to doze off. So that's the reason that no sedation. Now, it was suggested that I go to this hospital here to get an MRI with sedation, but I was told by my doctor, don't go to this hospital. So I'm not really sure why. I mean, yes, COVID, possibly. Yes, don't overrun the hospital with non-emergency, but maybe was my leg an emergency? I don't know, but to me, it's not an emergency as long as I'm managing the pain and I'm mostly getting rest. And for the most part, my pain is manageable with medication. If you're interested, I say pain medication. I'm taking 300 milligrams of gabapentin. I take it every 8 hours. I am taking 2 Aleve a day, 1 Aleve in the morning, and 12 hours later I take the second one. And then I have the PRN Tylenol with codeine that I've taken a total of 4 of since I got the prescription 2 weeks ago. And then I take Voltaren cream, which is a topical like an arthritis medication. I believe it's an anti-inflammatory, but I take a topical Voltaren as needed, up to 4 times a day. I can take that. So that's the extent of my pain medication. So I'm not like on anything heavy duty. And that's actually making it tolerable, you know. I'm staying off of it and I'm resting it. And that's really what's important. I'm stretching the muscles around it without trying to hurt it, which also is helping. But the thing from last night that I really wanted to share, which has happened before, is this was before the Tylenol with codeine. This was the 11 o'clock. This was the 11, like the sleep till 11 o'clock type of thing. I sweat buckets. Like to the point where even this morning, like after I got up off the bed, when I rolled over to this side, the sheets were still wet. And even after I slept here and got up at 7 o'clock to switch to this side of the bed, I put my hand under my pillow and it was still wet. So like I had the sheets here air out so that they would dry, and under this here was like soaked. And Jimmy was like, I'll wash the sheets when I come home and we can switch them out. I'm like, it's okay. It's just me. It's my body. It's not like I'm not hosting anybody in my bed, you know, as long as it dries out. You guys could say whatever you want. I really don't care. But as long as it dries out for me, I'm fine. Because I'm just going to do it again. I can't change my sheets every day. This isn't a hospital. But I'm so glad I'm not in a hospital bed. You guys have no idea that the most comfortable position for me to sleep in normally is on my stomach. And with this leg injury, the most comfortable position for me to sleep, not lie, sleep, is on my stomach. It is the most comfortable position, my legs straight. Now, normally growing up, sleeping on my stomach, one arm is like this, and then your other leg is bent. And then you switch, one arm is like this, and the other leg is bent. I don't bend my legs now. They both go totally straight. Oh, look, my fingers aren't even straight. They go straight. Oh, look, my fingers are pigeon-toed. But my legs go totally straight under me, and I just sleep like, and I'm out. Not out, normally. Sometimes, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying. But my whole body is now surfaced. Like, it's like my whole body. And I don't know if that's a side effect from the pain. Is that just like a normal old lady hot flash? I mean, I'm still taking my estrogen, and I haven't been having hot flashes. But it seems like it's happened on the nights when I'm in pain. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know. When I do that, I check my temperature, because when I started having hot flashes in 2019, my hot flashes came with a fever. So I was checking my temperature to see if a hot flash fever, and there was no fever with these hot flashes. So I just don't know if I'm just sweating out. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure somebody knows. I'm sure somebody can investigate, but I'm all right with it. I just thought it was a weird side effect I thought I would share. Or a weird thing that was happening. I don't know that it's a side effect. It could just be a weird thing that's happening. So I have one other thing that I wanted to talk about that has been, that has come up in the comments about my mood. So I don't know if I actually talked about this yet, but sometimes I feel like nowadays I probably have to talk about things more than once, because when I talk about them just once or twice, I feel like they don't get heard, because I don't know if everybody skips around when they watch videos or what. But how can she cry 1 minute and laugh the next? My upbringing. I grew up in a family. First of all, I was a crier. I'm a Cancer. I'm a crier. I'm the baby. I'm a crier. Cry baby, cry baby. Oh, excuse me. But what my family would do, and it's tradition, is we would make each other laugh to stop from crying. That's why my sister started the hold it, because now that's what plays in my head if I start to get emotional. Whether it's emotions of sadness or emotions of tears of sadness or tears of joy, I still hear her saying, like, hold it. And that's what we do. We make each other laugh to stop and curtail the tears. And that's how I can do it. I mean, I know that sounds dumb. I don't do it sometimes I cry and I can't stop because there's nothing in my head but sadness. But if I can let that little bit of brightness from that family memory or those memories flood in, then I can curtail it. I can stop it. Somebody mentioned that I can cry on a dime, and I used to do it when I was younger on purpose. Yeah, I used to do it when I was younger on purpose, and I probably might be able to still do it by myself if I thought about it. I could think about sad things and I can start to cry, but I don't fake that emotion. Why? There's no clout in crying. When I cry on camera, all I do is get the haters come out and give me crap. Why would I do that on purpose? It doesn't even make sense. People for sympathy. I don't need to cry for sympathy. If somebody's going to be sympathetic to my plight, they're going to be sympathetic to my plight whether or not I cry. But to be honest with you, it's a lot harder to cry since I've been on this Cymbalta, which, by the way, it does also help with some pain, but I took that before I hurt myself. That was the antidepressant the doctor put me on. So since the Cymbalta, it's been harder to cry. I can feel the emotions coming up, but I can't feel them overwhelming my face. Does that make sense? Sometimes, and then sometimes I won't feel like I'm crying, and then there's tears coming out, which is bizarre too. So I thought that was weird. I just wanted to be like, hey, how can she do that? How can you do that? I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know. How can you do it? How do you not cry every time? something sad happened. I don't know. Everybody's different. What the heck, man? I will tell you, I feel like I don't laugh enough these days. And I found out Tuesday, I woke up and I was kind of in the mood to watch a Melissa McCarthy movie that I really like because of some other actress I saw that I was like, ooh, I want to see that. She's in that or whatever. And I realized that starting the morning off with a comedy really makes your day good. It really makes your day good. So I've decided to start my day off with a comedy every day. Does it have to be a rom-com? It could be, as long as it's more comedy than like gushy sadness. You know, because some romantic comedies like 13 Going on 30, it has a lot of really funny things in it, but it also has like, at the end, you know, there's tears. You're like, Anyhow, I'm going to cut it off here because I'm starting to feel better. I think the 12 o'clock gabapentin is kind of kicking in. My pain has come down to about 5 or 6, which I'm very grateful for. But as long as I don't move, I should be okay. Oh, gosh. Just don't move. Just don't move. It won't hurt if you don't move. Don't move. Oh, I love you guys. I miss you. I do. My eyes haven't been that great the last couple of days. 4 or 5. So I can't get out to the computer, obviously. So I am missing the comments. I'm missing the support. You guys. We didn't get to do... Jimmy had... This was his first weekend, and he wanted to try to, like, regulate what he was doing around the house. So he was trying to try all these different scheduling things. So we really didn't get a chance to sit down and do comments. So hopefully one night during the week he'll catch up for me and he'll read them to me, and we'll be catching up on there for you guys. So thank you for your patience and understanding. I do appreciate it. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. I'll see you next time. Bye.